Good morning to all of you, distinguished dignitaries, organizers of today's program, and my dear managers of tomorrow. As you launch your management careers, you will be euphoric that you have arrived. Yes, it is true that you are at an important milestone in your life as you enter or restart your professional career. It is equally true, though, that your journey, my friends, has only just begun. And it is about some experiences of this managerial journey that I will speak to you today. Will you be really ready? In 2020, will you be just a management graduate or a composite management professional? Look at the world around you. COVID-19 has forced us into a prolonged timeout. It has brought radical lifestyle changes. As we move into a calibrated opening up, it is for us to begin contemplating the end of the crisis. Envision what the world will look like in its aftermath, how the pandemic will change the way we live and work, and what we need to do to adjust to the new normal of the post-COVID-19 world. Why has COVID-19 thrust this imperative upon us? Does a crisis by itself ensure reform? Every great crisis to mankind has seen a period of confusion followed quickly by rapid counter-responses. In challenging times, we question accepted realities, devise quick solutions, often outside the usual compass, some of which may be effective enough to become normal quotidian practice. This was demonstrated in the world wars as well as in pandemics such as the Spanish flu. History also suggests that the global economy is remodeled in significant ways after a major crisis like COVID-19, spurring the adoption of new technological strategies and business models. The SARS outbreak in 2003 is seen as a causal factor for the adoption of online shopping by China, which resulted in Alibaba's rise. The balance of payments crisis in India led to the paradigm shift of liberalization, globalization, and privatization. The economic and humanitarian crisis unleashed by COVID-19 is thus an opportunity to reform sectors such as skilling, healthcare, the unorganized sector, and education, which are the underpinnings of our political economy. What changes will we see in the post-COVID professional world? We are witnessing several shifts that are taking place in the world of work. I see three vectors of professional change: the accelerated importance and use of information technology, unconventional ways of working including freelancing and work from home, and increased inter-organizational and intersectoral collaborations and networks. Second, these changes will demand personal transformations from each of us, of which three are cardinal: embracing uncertainty and change, becoming a continuous learner, and practicing personal and collective social responsibility. Third, capacity building will emerge as the single enabler and tool available to us to navigate the changes that we will confront in the professional and personal world. To leverage capacity building, we need to harness youth who are outside the formal education institutional network, focus on the frontline and backroom workers who are vital to decision making and implementation, and design training programs so as to train teams and not just individuals. Let me elaborate on each of these. COVID-19 has increased digitalization in all spheres of our professional world, whether it is education, healthcare, governance, or entertainment. All these demonstrate the growing acceptance of technology to help us feel connected. As people become more comfortable with technology and service providers upgrade their infrastructures, creating a better pipeline and more streamlined and user-friendly interfaces, technology becomes easier to live with day to day. COVID-19 has also propelled us to experiment with work from home on an unprecedented scale. WFH has gone beyond our quotidian processes and scaled new innovative heights. India demonstrated this in the Facebook Geo deal and the Facebook Google deal. Another shift that we may expect is the emergence of the gig economy. Each of us will have to get used to becoming a freelancer. Remote hiring of talent will become the norm, with corporate positions opening up to skilled candidates everywhere. Prioritizing skills over pedigree and geography, all of which is good news for both the economy and the talent pool, making talent pools more diverse and businesses and economy stronger. Gig economy and pervasive freelancing will bring in cooperation and coordination across sectoral silos. As freelancing becomes prevalent, teams will be self-created rather than being curated by leaders and will become more interdependent, more collaborative, more agile, and more flexible. Let us move to the next point. What personal transformation is required in a post-COVID individual? Pragmatism demands that we survive the present moment while building ourselves to thrive in a very different future. The first transformation that the post-COVID challenge demands from us is the realization that change is the only constant and that things may change any moment. This calls upon us to embrace uncertainty, develop equanimity, mental balance, emotional intelligence, and agility of thought and action. Next, becoming a continuous learner. Continuous learning opens our minds and changes our attitudes. Knowledge is now at our fingertips. To function effectively amongst this rapidly changing world of technology, we need to learn new things to remain valuable. Those not making use of this opportunity will stagnate. Do not be left behind. Our third and most important self-transformation is the practice of collective social responsibility. We are familiar with CSR, corporate social responsibility, but this is not enough. CSR is still someone else's job. It is up to each of us to adopt personal social responsibility. We each have a duty to the other. Personal social responsibility is easier to practice, say by teaching a child or helping a destitute person in need. But what COVID-19 has brought home to us is a larger collective social responsibility. The health of our communities depends on our individual actions. Thus, it calls upon our collective social responsibility that emphasizes our responsibility to the community. So, as you can see, COVID-19 has thrown up challenges and changes in our professional world. The tool that enables us to effect the personal transformation and meet these challenges is capacity building. What aspects of capacity building should we as individuals and as a nation focus upon? First, leadership. Every big crisis is a test of leadership. But COVID-19 is not really about political influence or corporate power. It is about the everyday leadership that we as individuals and citizens demonstrate in our daily lives. Therefore, our capacity building should focus as much as on qualities and character traits as on specializations. Traits such as calmness and equanimity, skills such as communication and problem solving, and the attributes of a work ethic and compassion. These should form part of a skill development as much as technical skills. Secondly, the front line and back room become important. In an increasingly digitalized world, with social media creating a virtual reality, presence and authenticity become even more important. We can procure a bed, but to get a qualified nurse who understands infection control or a pulmonologist is not something we can procure in a month. These are long-term investments and highlight the importance of the frontline and backroom worker and teach us to respect the dignity of labor. Third, the focus should be on training teams and not individuals. We saw that the pandemic makes freelancing acceptable, as well as calling for greater collaboration across teams and organizations. It is likely that future teams will comprise permanent, temporary, freelance, and mission employees, and this diversity will call for greater need to build cohesion within the members. So, our pedagogy should mandatorily include group situations, case studies, self reliance and decision making situations, problem solving, immersion experiences, and the like. In conclusion, let me say that choices, not crises, determine our opportunities. COVID-19 has changed the world like nothing before. The global shakedown that we see happening with COVID-19 is unprecedented and perhaps even incomprehensible to human minds. Yet, amidst all this, opportunities lurk. It is time for governments, businesses, and individuals like you and I to prepare for the worst, but also prepare ourselves to recognize and utilize these opportunities and keep the faith that we may transform to a newer, stronger, and reinvented planet. Thank you all very much and good luck to all of you. Thank you.